Nanda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. Sri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita session. Today is June 6th, 2025, and we're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Chapter 8, talks between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. And we have to begin with text 230 today. In the last session, we were reading about how one can achieve entrance into the pastimes of Radha and Krishna only by following in the footsteps of the gopis, and except for this there is no other way. So the example for this is we saw the Shrutis, Shrutichara gopis, the Vedas. In the Veda Stuti, one of the prayers of the Vedas, we see the Vedas are saying how that which is not possible for the great yogis, even after controlling their mind and controlling their breath for many, for hundreds of crores of years, still they are not, all they can get is, they will realize Paramatma, they will get darshan of Paramatma, and maybe they'll go and merge into Brahman. But the gopis, simply by their attraction to the beauty of Krishna, they were able to relish the sweetness of Krishna's lotus feet. So the resolve of the Shrutis was that we will also follow in the footsteps of the gopis, and in that way we will also get the destination like the gopis. We will also get to taste. And then we saw the proof of this from the verse itself, how samadrishaha and samaha are referring to the Shrutis. By achieving the bhava of the gopis, they were able to get the same body as the gopis. They got a body, Swarupa Shakti body of a gopi in Golok Vrindavan Dham. And by that, what did they get in that relationship? Angri Padma Sudhaya, right? Angri Padma means lotus feet, Sudha means the taste. What does this mean? Tasting the lotus feet of Krishna and Goloka means they got intimate association with Krishna. They got the pleasure of intimately associating with Krishna. This was only possible, or this is only possible by following in the footsteps of gopis, and the gopis are following ragatmika bhakti. So only by following the raga marga one can achieve Krishna and vraja. By following vidhi marga one cannot achieve Krishna and vraja. It is not possible. Then to prove that by following raga marga only one can achieve Krishna, by following vidhi marga it is not. Krishna means vrajendra-nandane Krishna in Goloka, in vraja. Achieving Krishna and vraja is possible only by following raga marga. It is not possible by following vidhi marga. To say this, one shloka was quoted that the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda, is accessible. So that's why it is said son of Mother Yashoda means he is vrajendra-nandane Krishna or Yashoda-nandane Krishna. Yashoda-nandane Krishna is accessible to those devotees who are engaged in raga marga. That's what this verse is saying. Nayam sukhapo bhagavan dehinam gopika sutaha. Gopika sutaha means vrajendra-nandane Krishna. He is not accessible to the materialists who are under the bodily consciousness. It's not possible for them to achieve Krishna. Jnaninam chatma bhutanam. Even jnanis or ashtanga yogis, they also cannot achieve Krishna, vrajendra-nandane Krishna. Yatha bhakti matam iha. Bhakti matam means here it is translated as by spontaneous devotional service. By raga marga only it is possible. It is not possible by vidhi, by rules and regulations. Then again it is said, so if you want to achieve Radha Krishna, if you want to achieve this goal, what should you do? Therefore, because achieving vrajendra-nandane Krishna is not possible. Wait, I'll just share it with you. So, ateva gopi bhava kori angikara ratri dina chinte radha krishnera vihar. So therefore, what should you do? Anyone? So if you remember the diagram, it will help, I think. If I share the diagram, it will refresh your memory. Okay. Share. So I'm assuming that you're seeing both, right? You're seeing my blackboard and the shloka. Yes?
No, only shloka, Mataji.
Only the shloka. How do I share both? I have both on my page, but how to share them both like that, I think. Let me see. Anyway, I'm not able to figure out how to share both. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'll just share the blackboard for now. I'll share the blackboard with you and I will see the shloka. So you remember this, what we saw the other day? So what is the verse saying here? That therefore, that means you can achieve the lotus feet of Krishna and Vraja only by following the Raga Marga, and in that also you're following you have to follow in the footsteps of the gopis. You have to get gopi bhava. That's when you can get Krishna. Anyway, the shloka that is quoted is saying, if you want to achieve Krishna in Vrindavan, that's the point. If you want to achieve Krishna in Vrindavan, you have to follow Raga Marga. Following Vidhi Marga will not take you to Krishna and Vrindavan. So if you remember this diagram the other day, this right side was Vidhi Marga, left side was Raga Marga. So Vidhi Marga, the entry door is Dridha Shraddha in Shastras. So what is driving you to follow 24-hour devotional service? Rules and regulations given in Shastra. Shastric injunctions are driving me. Because I got firm faith in Shastric injunctions, therefore 24 hours I'm endeavoring to do direct devotional service. And by doing that type of devotional service, I progress from one stage to another. So in Raga-ānugatya also you have the stages like that. Yes. Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana, Kriya, Anartha, Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. These stages you will find here also. Only here the entry door is Ruchi. You have an intense greed or taste to hear Krishna's pastimes. So because of that Ruchi is driving you to do 24 hours bhajan, Shravanam, Kirtanam. So when you come to Ruchi stage in Vaidhi Bhakti, is it possible for everyone to take Raga-ānugatya from the beginning? No. Because how do you get this Ruchi? It's already there. Some rare person has that Ruchi. But we can transfer to Raga-ānugatya after we come to Ruchi in Vidhi Marga, we can switch to Raga-ānugatya. What do you do when you switch to Raga-ānugatya? Now you're following in the footsteps of the gopis. You're following in the footsteps of the gopis and developing the gopi bhava. So what I told you the other day was, until you come to bhava, because when you come to bhava, you're given the body, parsha, the body in the spiritual world. Until that time, before that, in Ruchi and Asakti, while you're still there in Raga Marga, what do? You're meditating all the time. And your activities also, you're following the same activities that the gopis do, either with your body or with your mind, according to your situation. If you have to set example to society, with your body, you may be following the rules and regulations, but with in your mind, you're continuously performing Raga-ānuga Bhakti. So, what is being said here is, Atayeva gopi bhava kori angikara ratri dina chinte Radha Krishnera vihara. Therefore, anyone who is desiring to achieve vrajendra-nandana Krishna in conjugal relationship, in Ruchi stage of Vaidhi Bhakti, shifts to Raga Bhakti, and there what will he do? He will accept gopi bhava. That means he will follow in the footsteps of the gopis. Ratri dina chinte Radha Krishnera vihar, and 24 hours, day and night, he is meditating on Radha Krishna. One thing you should remember here, the highest goal is Radha Krishna's prema. Means it doesn't mean that you will become Radha Rani, you will be like Radha Rani. No. You saw already what is the mood of the gopis. They get million times more pleasure by uniting Radha and Krishna than going themselves with Krishna. You should remember that. So Gopi Bhava, that was already clarified. What is Gopi Bhava? Gopi Bhava means they Atmendriya priti vancha tarnam kam. There's not even a trace of desire to enjoy themselves with Krishna, not even a trace. Rather, their desire is to give pleasure to Krishna. Whatever gives pleasure to Krishna, they want to do that. And when they bring Srimati Radharani to Krishna, and when Krishna is enjoying, they get billions of times more pleasure by that than when they personally associated with Krishna and enjoyed with Krishna. So now when someone is accepting Gopi Bhava means same thing, right? Your very existence, your desire, everything is simply to give pleasure to Krishna. There is not even a trace of desire for personal enjoyment. That has to be clear. So now, ateva gopi bhava kori angikara. They accept this gopi bhava. Ratri dina chinte radha krishna vihara. And they're meditating. 24 hours they're meditating, thinking about the pastimes of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Siddha dehe chinti kore tahai sevana sakhi bhave pāya radha krishnera charana. And in this way, in siddha deha, when they are rendering devotional service. So Siddha Deha comes when you come to Bhava Bhakti, then you get Siddha Deha. So in Siddha Deha, so by meditating on Radha Krishna like this and following Gopi Bhava, when you cross Ruchi Asakti stages and you come to Bhava Bhakti stage, that means in that stage now you are awarded a body, spiritual, you get a Siddha Deha, a Parshada Deha. And in that body, now we are performing devotional service. Siddha dehe chinti kore tahai sevana sakhi bhave pāya Radha Krishna racharan. After thinking of Radha and Krishna and their pastimes for a long time, and after getting completely free from material contamination, that means now they get a transcendental body, the body of an associate. One is transferred to the spiritual world. So after you get the body, first in the budding stage, it is bhava stage. Body is in the budding stage. When the body is fully developed, youthful stage, right? Fully developed stage, that is prema. Once you come to prema, then you get Bhagavad Sakshatkara, you will enter into the spiritual world. One is transferred to the spiritual world. There the devotee attains an opportunity to serve Radha and Krishna as one of the gopis. So that we saw. Now we'll go to the next verse. Okay, you're seeing my shloka, right? Not the blackboard. Say something so I know.
Yes,
Okay.
seeing the text.
Text. Yes. Thank you, Madhya. 230. Next verse. Gopī-ānugatya vinā aiśvarya-jñāne bhajileha nāhi pāya vrajendra-nandane. Gopī-ānugatya vinā, without following in the footsteps of the gopis. Aiśvarya-jñāne, with aiśvarya-jñāne. Aiśvarya-jñāne means the opulence of the Supreme Lord. That means with the knowledge of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the controller of all the Shaktis. He is the master, right? Aishwarya-jñāne. So if somebody is having, because in vraja, there is no Aishwarya-jñāne, not even a trace of Aishwarya-jñāne. Even if it comes, it cannot stay. Madhurya means sweetness, simply sweetness. There is no trace of, Aishwarya-jñāne of the Supreme Lord. In Mathura there is. In Mathura there is both. Aishwarya-jñāne is there, Madhurya is also there. Whereas in Vraja, there is no Aishwarya. Sometimes even if Yashoda Mai sees, Krishna reveals within his mouth the entire universe, all the planets and everything, she cannot believe. She thinks, oh, I think something's wrong with me. It cannot stay. You know why? Because of her intense love. The love is so powerful that that love completely overshadows the Lord's opulence. The knowledge of the Lord's opulence is completely overshadowed by the intense love in Vraja. So therefore, aiśvarya-jñāne cannot remain there. Here it is said, gopī-ānugatya vinā, without following in the footsteps of gopis. Aiśvarya-jñāne, that means when you follow Vidhi Marga, there is aiśvarya-jñāne, definitely. Rules and regulations means there is aiśvarya-jñāne. That means you're following Shastra. In Shastra will describe the Lord's opulence, how He's the Supreme Lord, He's the controller of all the living entities and of the material nature, all energies. So aiśvarya-jñāne will be there if you're following only Vidhi Marga. So gopī-ānugatya vinā aiśvarya-jñāne bhajileha. If anyone is worshipping like this, with aiśvarya-jñāna, without following in the footsteps of gopis, without accepting the gopi bhava, bhajileha, nāhi vrajendra-nandane. Such a person cannot get vrajendra-nandane Kṛṣṇa. He can get Krishna. You are worshipping Krishna. You can go to Dwaraka, Mathura or Vaikuntha, but not Vraja. Without following the footsteps of gopis and with aiśvarya-jñāna, if anyone worships Krishna, he cannot get vrajendra-nandane Kṛṣṇa. Unless one follows in the footsteps of the gopis, he cannot attain the service of the lotus feet of Krishna, the son of Nanda Mahārāja. Vasudev Krishna you may be able to get, but not Nanda-nandane Kṛṣṇa. Unless one follows in the footsteps of the gopis, he cannot attain the service of the lotus feet of Krishna, the son of Nanda Mahārāja. If one is overcome by knowledge of the Lord's opulence, he cannot attain the Lord's lotus feet. If you are overcome by knowledge of the Lord's opulence, he cannot attain the Lord's lotus feet, even though he is engaged in devotional service. Srila Prabhupada. One can worship Lakṣmī Narayan by the process of Vidhi Marga, worshipping the Lord with regulative principles, according to the instructions of the Shastra and the spiritual master. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Radha Kṛṣṇa, cannot be directly worshipped by this process. What do you understand by that? So when you're worshipping Radha Kṛṣṇa now on the altar, are we following Vidhi Marga or not? Of course we are following Vidhi Marga, rules and regulations. So that is why Srila Prabhupada said, even though you are worshipping Radha Kṛṣṇa, actually you are worshipping Lakṣmī Narayan. That doesn't mean that you are worshipping Lakṣmī Narayan means now you are worshipping Lakṣmī Narayan in Vaikuntha. Not like that. That means the way Lakṣmī Narayan is worshipped with great awe and reverence, following all rules and regulations very strictly, with awe and reverence. He is with full knowledge that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like that we are worshipping, even though we are worshipping Radha Kṛṣṇa, because Radha Kṛṣṇa cannot be worshipped with Vidhi Marga. Radha Kṛṣṇa is worshipped. Radharani is in Vraja. She is not in Mathura and Dwarka. So Radha Kṛṣṇa worship is not done actually in Vidhi Marga. Radha Kṛṣṇa worship means you have to do Raganuga Marga only. Nevertheless, our acharyas have given us the worship of Radha Kṛṣṇa. So, because now we start with Vidhi, our goal is Radha Kṛṣṇa in Vrindavan. Our goal is Radha Kṛṣṇa only. We want to go to Vrindavan. But to get there, we don't have qualification to start off with Raganuga Bhakti. So therefore, we follow Vidhi Marga, rules and regulations. But since our destination is Radha Kṛṣṇa, we cannot simply stick to Vidhi Marga till the end. As I'm telling you again and again repeatedly, don't think that now you have to take any steps. No. We didn't even start proper Vidhi Marga yet. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti means 24-hour devotional service, pure unalloyed devotional service. So we should only follow the steps that are given by Srila Prabhupada. Increase it more and more and more. That should be our meditation. Follow rules. Rise early in the morning, attend Mangalarti, follow 4 regulative principles, chant at least 16 rounds, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Yes, you have to do all this, but this is minimum. This is not the end. And from here, do all this strictly. And if you do this strictly, it will grow. That's also there. If we just follow this process properly, the way it is instructed, if we are studying Srila Prabhupada's purpose very attentively, if we follow the process the way he has given, we will grow in bhakti. We will come to the stage of Shuddha Bhakti if we follow. It's not that we will not get there by following this process. Just thinking that we are already there now, that is the mistake. We are not there, we want to get there. But I'm saying that this Vidhi Marga and Raga Marga, don't think that, oh, Radha Krishna worship cannot be done with Vidhi Marga, so therefore now I will start following Raga Marga. That becomes Sahajiya. We have to act according to our qualification. One can worship Lakshmi Narayan by the process of Vidhi Marga, worshipping the Lord with regulative principles according to the instructions of the Shastra and the spiritual master. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Radha Krishna, cannot be directly worshipped by this process. The dealings between Radha and Krishna and the gopis are devoid of opulences of Lakshmi Narayan. Even in Mathura, the way Krishna is worshipped in Mathura, served in Mathura, there is etiquette followed there. Mathura or Dwaraka, same. Very strict rules, regulations, etiquette is followed. He's like a king. The way you serve a king, right? Very, very, with all rules and everything. Etiquette is very important there. But in Vraja, it is not like that. It is very, very intimate, very, very close. Etiquette increases that distance. So the dealings between Radha and Krishna and the gopis are devoid of the opulences of Lakshmi and Lakshmi Narayan. The process of Vidhi Marga, following the rules and regulative principles, is utilized in the worship of Lakshmi Narayan. Vidhi Marga is used in the worship of Lakshmi Narayan. Whereas the process of spontaneous service, following in the footsteps of the gopis, who are the denizens of Vrindavan, is transcendentally more advanced and is the process whereby Radha and Krishna are worshipped. So you see, when I showed you that diagram, I told you which is better. Vidhi Marga is superior or Raga Marga is superior? Certainly Raga Marga is superior. No doubt about that. For performing devotional service on the strength of rules and regulations, that is inferior to performing devotional service out of natural, spontaneous love for the Lord. Isn't it? And Radha Krishna worship can only be done on that platform, because Radha Krishna you will find only in Vraja. There is only spontaneous love there. No rules, regulations in Vraja. The process of, that's why when you hear Srila Prabhupada's quote, that even though we are worshipping Radha Krishna, we are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan, means we are worshipping the way one worships Lakshmi Narayan. In that sense, we are worshipping Radha Krishna. Following that Vidhi Marga, we are worshipping Radha Krishna. That means we are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. Now, that shouldn't mean that we are aspiring for Lakshmi Narayan in Vaikuntha. No. According to our qualification, now we are not fit for Arcanabhakti, so we are worshipping Radha Krishna through this Vidhi Marga. At one point, we have to shift. The process of Vidhi Marga, following the regulative principles, is utilized in the worship of Lakshmi Narayan, whereas the process of spontaneous service, following in the footsteps of the gopis, who are the denizens of Vrindavan, is transcendentally more advanced and is the process whereby Radha and Krishna are worshipped. One cannot attain this elevated position while worshipping the Lord in his opulence. I think some devotee had asked, is it essential to switch? It is. Actually, it is said in the verses also that we read. Because if you continued simply in the Vidhi Marga without switching to Raga Marga, you cannot worship Radha Krishna on that platform. Right? You cannot go to Vraja. Radharani is in Vraja only. One cannot attain this elevated position. Then you will worship Rukmini Dwarkadish. If you're worshipping Radha Krishna in that according to rules, regulations, and you don't switch, then you continue to worship, then you will see Rukmini Dwarkadish like that. Radha Rani will appear like Rukmini ji. One cannot attain this elevated position while worshipping the Lord in his opulence. One cannot attain this elevated position. Which elevated position? Spontaneous devotional service to Radha Krishna. You cannot attain this while worshipping the Lord in his opulence. That means by following Vidhi Marga, you cannot achieve that spontaneous devotional service. Those attracted by the conjugal love between Radha and Krishna must follow in the footsteps of the gopis. Again and again, that point only is being said. If you want to serve Radha Krishna the way Radha Krishna is served in Vrindavan, if you want to serve that way, you have to, there's no other alternative than to follow in the footsteps of the gopis. Only then is it possible to enter into the Lord's service in Golok Vrindavan and directly associate with Radha Krishna. Is there any questions here? Any discussion is needed on what we discussed today? No questions. Okay. Maybe I can cover another verse, maybe. Let's see. Tāhāte dṛṣṭānta lakṣmī karilo bhajan tathāpi na pāilo vraje vrajendra-nandane. So there's a proof of this. What is the proof? Proof for what? That without following in the footsteps of gopis, one cannot achieve Radha Krishna in Vrindavan. You cannot achieve vrajendra-nandane Krishna. You cannot get service to Radha Krishna in Vrindavan. You cannot achieve vrajendra-nandane Krishna, get service to vrajendra-nandane Krishna in Vrindavan without following in the footsteps of gopis. What is the proof of that? Tāhāte dṛṣṭānta lakṣmī karilo bhajan. The proof is Lakshmi Devi, she worshipped. She performed tapasya because she wanted to enter into the Rasa Leela, Krishna's pastimes with Radharani and the gopis in Vrindavan. She wanted to enter into that pastime. Lakshmi karilo bhajan. Tathāpi, even though she performed bhajan, tathāpi na pāilo vraje vrajendra-nandana. She could not get Krishna in vraja. Even though she performed bhajan, without following in the footsteps of gopis, she could not get Krishna in Vrindavan. Lakshmi Devi. Because Lakshmi Devi is in Aishwarya Bhav, Aishwarya. So when you are in Aishwarya Bhav, she is the consort of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To become a servant of a servant, right? To be trained by other gopis to go and follow in the footsteps of the gopis, that was not possible. So therefore she couldn't get that service of Krishna in Vrindavan. So the point is, unless you serve in the footsteps of the gopis, you cannot get Krishna in Vrindavan. The unspoken example in this connection is the goddess of fortune who worshipped Lord Kṛṣṇa in order to attain his pastimes in Vrindavan. So Lakshmi Devi is the consort of Lord Narayan. Lord Narayan is none other than Krishna only. So there's nothing wrong if she desired to be with Krishna in Vrindavan. So Lakshmi Devi got attracted to Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. She wanted to associate with Krishna in Vrindavan pastimes. So for that, she worshipped Lord Kṛṣṇa. Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune who worshipped Lord Kṛṣṇa in order to attain his pastimes in Vrindavan, due to her opulent lifestyle, so that aiśvarya-jñāne is not removed, that is there, aiśvarya-jñāne is there. She could not attain the service of Krishna in Vrindavan. So that's what the previous verse had said, that with aiśvarya-jñāne, And without following the footsteps of gopis, it's impossible. Vachalamaji, you have a question?
So you said you're going to the temple and serving Lord Kṛṣṇa, Radha and Kṛṣṇa. So what is our mood normally? We never knew that. I never knew that we are worshipping like in the Aishwarya Bhava. But we are thinking that one day we may go to Goloka, but I don't know whether it is whether it's going to happen. I mean, I don't know. It's difficult for me to assume. I always think when you are worshipping Radha and Kṛṣṇa, so I think someday we may have a chance, right, to go to Goloka. We want to be like a simple-minded, like gopīs,
Yes.
Brajvasis,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
like a real opulent, with Lord Narayana or something. Because in olden days we were believing we were growing. When we were in growing up age, like 8, 9, we always thought of Lord Narayan. But we cannot approach him. Vishnu will punish you, that's the condition we were in. Because he's very unapproachable. He expects more from you. Right? But here, when we go, it is like a Krishna can play with you, or he's just like a playing with the gopis
Yeah.
and all, but it is very difficult, right?
Yes, that's the thing. The Aishwarya Bhava and Madhurya Bhava, that's the difference. So Aishwarya means the only relationship that is possible for devotees who go to Vaikuntha. Shanta rasa is possible, or you can have master-servant relationship. Shanta means awe and reverence, he's the Supreme Lord. Or Dasya, he is the master and servant. That much is possible only. The Lord can have conjugal relationship with his consort, not with other devotees. No, in Vaikuntha it doesn't happen. He has conjugal relationship only with Lakshmi Devi. But Krishna, very intimate. Krishna and Vraja is most intimate. And in Krishna, in Dwaraka also, you can have intimate, like you'll have different relationships. Devotees can see Krishna as their husband. They can see Krishna as their son, or as their, brother, and or as their master. These relationships are possible. But in Dwaraka, you have that aiśvarya-jñāne. He is the Supreme Lord. Even though, like Vasudeva and Devaki, they saw Krishna as the Supreme, they had that love for their child. That affection was there. Nevertheless, along with that love and affection, there was also this knowledge that he is the Supreme Lord. So that respect is also there. That respect is there, and love, both are there in Dwarka. But when you come to Vrindavan, very, very intimate. That aiśvarya-jñāne is not there at all. Otherwise, if that aiśvarya-jñāne is there, it will interfere with that intimacy. If Krishna is your friend, you won't be able to deal with him so freely. Oh, you're my best friend, and they're fighting with each other, and they're challenging each other. That rasa will not develop. So therefore, in Vrindavan, it is very, very intimate. Now, having said that, what we have to be careful about is sahajiya. Sahajiya mentality is immediately jumping to that conclusion that now I start imagining that Krishna is my best friend and I'm his cowherd boyfriend, and now in my dealings with the deity on the altar or at home, I act like Krishna is my friend. That is not good. So we have to follow because as we said, that comes in at a certain stage, advanced stage of devotional service. We don't need to imagine anything. These things will be revealed in due course of time as we progress in bhakti. What is my relationship and how I have to deal with Krishna? Things will be revealed as we progress. But to aspire for that, there's nothing wrong. As you said, I foresee that myself, in future, I would like to be a simple Brajbasi in some relationship with the Lord. So if you have such desire, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. There's nothing wrong with that. Only not artificially, Artificially acting on that level is not good. Rather, it becomes an offense. We just read a few verses before in Srila Jiva Goswami says that if we are, imagining that I am a gopi or I am an associate of Krishna, and then, that imagination, no need. Whatever we hear, the bona fide pastimes of Krishna that we are hearing, how Krishna is dealing with the Yashoda Mai, how Krishna is dealing with his friends, with the gopis. Yes, we can hear and we can meditate on those pastimes, appreciate how wonderful is Krishna, how loving is Krishna's dealings, and you can certainly aspire. I would like to become qualified one day by Krishna's mercy, by the mercy of devotees. I would like to be one of those devotees. That is fine. No problem with that. That's wonderful. But to imagine that I'm already there now, that becomes sahajiya. And what to speak of after imagining, then I start acting. So that's why we have many apasampradayas. Apasampradayas, what they do, men, they consider themselves to be gopis. So men start wearing saris. And they pretend that Krishna is going to enjoy them. Because now I'm a woman, I'm a gopi. Krishna enjoys Rasa Leela with the gopis. So all these men, they dress up in saris, and then they perform Ras Leela, and one of them plays the role of Krishna, and all types of nonsense happens. That's not required. That is an offense. That is sinful. That shouldn't be done. That's the point.
Okay, Mataji, so when we worship Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani at home, so you follow the rules, right?
Yes. That's why Prabhupada
But
says,
in Aishwarya
worship like
Bhava, we
Lakshmī
follow
Narayan.
the rules and regulations.
Well, that's why Prabhupada says, when you're worshipping, we installed Radha Krishna in the temple, but we are worshipping them as Lakshmī Narayan. Prabhupada says, that means what? With great respect, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, she is his consort, and I am, a servant, like that. With that mood, we serve the deities. In the temple, when we go and bow down in front of the deities, we offer some gifts to the Lord. We have to act according to our position. So that even though Radha Krishna is there, but the mood in which we are worshipping is in awe and reverence, with that aiśvarya-jñāne. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With that, we have to worship him with great respect.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the clarification.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Okay, let me read one more. So what was the previous verse that we read? The example that without following in the footsteps of gopis, and also when you're worshipping with aiśvarya-jñāne, you can never achieve Krishna in Vrindavan. For that, the proof for that is Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi wanted to participate in the Lord's pastimes in Vrindavan, but because she had this Aishwarya Bhava, she's coming from Vaikunta in opulence, she could not gain entrance into Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. That's the proof. Then there's another shloka here. Nayam shriyongau nitānta-rateḥ prasadaha svar-yoṣitāṁ. Nayam shriyongau nitānta-rateḥ prasadaha svar-yoṣitāṁ nalina-gandha-rucāṁ kutonyah rasosavesya bhuja-daṇḍa-gṛhīta-kaṇṭha labdha shishamya udagad vraja-sundarinam. When Lord Sri Krishna was dancing with the gopis in the Rasa Leela, the gopis were embraced around the neck by the Lord's arms. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or the other consorts in the spiritual world. Not only the goddess of fortune, but even other wives of Krishna in the spiritual world didn't get this favor, where Krishna is dancing with them. Nor was such a thing ever imagined by the most beautiful girls in the heavenly planets, girls whose bodily luster and aroma resemble the beauty and fragrance of lotus flowers. That means in Swarga, Apsaras, etc., who are so beautiful. Men on the earthly planet, they go nuts about, the Apsaras in the heavenly planets. They are so beautiful. But the Apsaras in the heavenly planets, they didn't get the opportunity, they didn't get the good fortune of being able to dance with Krishna. What to speak of Apsaras, even Lakshmi Devi or the other consorts of Krishna in the spiritual world. That means in Dwaraka, they never got the opportunity to dance. And what to speak of worldly women? What to speak of people, women on this earth? The Apsaras didn't get, then what to speak of the women on this earth, who may be very, very beautiful according to material estimation. So this is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 47th chapter, text 60. So this is a proof that Lakshmi Devi also didn't get entrance into Krishna's Ras Leela or Krishna's Vrindavan Leela. Even Lakshmi Devi could not get entrance. Why? Because unless you follow in the footsteps of gopis, and unless you, so when you follow in the footsteps of gopis, automatically aiśvarya-jñāne is covered. Only then it is possible. If you don't follow in the footsteps of gopis, and if your worship is still with aiśvarya-jñāne, you cannot achieve Krishna. Proof? Lakshmi Devi tried, but she could not get. And then we saw the shloka, which substantiates that point, that Lakshmi Devi could not get entrance into the Ras Leela. Lakshmi Devi didn't get, other consorts of Krishna didn't get, Apsaras in the heavenly planets, and what to speak of the most beautiful ladies on this earth planet. Nobody got that favor which the gopis got, where Krishna is putting his arms around their necks and dancing with them. Eta shuni prabhu tare koilo alingana, dui jane galagali korena krandana. This was it, the final. So, Mahaprabhu had asked Ramananda Rai, can you tell me, please explain the way, how to come to that highest goal of, the topmost is the love that Srimati Radharani has, how Srimati Radharani serves Krishna, that's the topmost. So how can anyone come there? Like you want to understand, you want to be there, and you want to understand that. It's not, you cannot become Radharani, that's not possible. But you will be able to participate in that pastime, and you will be able to relish. You remember that verse? Srimati Radharani is like the creeper, and the gopis are like the flowers, twigs, leaves of that creeper. So when Krishna is sprinkled on the creeper, Srimati Radharani, who is the twigs, the flowers, and the leaves, they are those that are on the tips. So those who are assisting in this pastime of Radha Krishna, who is assisting? The gopis are assisting. What is the gopis' role? They are expanding the conjugal rasa. By their services, they are expanding the conjugal rasa. And the gopis have assistants, manjaris. So if you want, so they are actually relishing, even though Krishna is enjoying with Srimati Radharani, the gopis and the manjaris, they are getting the highest pleasure from that pastime. They are able to experience the highest pleasure. That's the point. So that is the highest possible goal that one can achieve. How to get that was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's question. So in essence, in one word, how to get that means you have to follow in the footsteps of gopis. How do you follow in the footsteps of gopis? Is it possible by Vidhi Marga? No. You have to come to Raga Marga. In Raga Marga, you should follow in the footsteps of gopis. Footsteps of gopis you are following. and day and night meditate on Radha Krishna's pastimes. Then one day, one fine day, when you come to Bhava Bhakti, you'll be awarded that body of gopi. And when you come to prema, you'll enter into the spiritual world. This is the only way. Following in the footsteps of gopis is the only way. There is no other way. If you only followed Vidhi Marga, you will never, without following the footsteps of gopis, if you followed the Vidhi Marga in aiśvarya-jñāne, you will never enter into vraja. You will never attain vrajendra-nandane Krishna. What is the proof? Lakṣmī Devi. She tried, she worshipped Krishna, wanting to enter into pastimes of, wanting to enter into his Vrindavan pastimes. Specifically, she wanted to enter the Ras Leela. She could not. Why? Because of that Aishwarya Bhava. You have to come to Raga Marga, otherwise it's not possible. So when Mahaprabhu heard this was it. This is the limit. So he just immediately embraced Ramananda Rai. Right? Completely, he's completely satisfied with whatever Ramananda Rai said. It's like all his questions, whatever he wanted to hear, everything was answered. So when he heard this, the topmost is gopis, and in that also Srimati Radharani, her love is the highest. And how to get that? Following in the footsteps of gopis. This is the highest. And not only that, except for this, there is no other path. Even Lakṣmī Devi, who is the consort of Lord Narayan, she also could not gain entrance without following the footsteps of the gopis when she had this Aishwarya Bhav. After hearing this, Mahaprabhu just went and embraced Ramananda Rai, and both of them started crying. Eta Shuni, itna sunkar, as soon as he heard this much, Eta Shuni, Prabhu Tare Koilo Alingana, as soon as he heard this, he just tightly embraced Ramananda Rai. Dui jane gala gali, matlab ek dusre ko gale ko pakad ke, in embrace tightly, Dui jane, both of them, gala gali korena krandan, holding each other's necks like this, in embrace, they started crying. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. After hearing this, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Ramananda Rai, and both of them, embracing shoulder to shoulder, began to cry. Ei mata, prema veshe ratri goaila, pratah kale nija nija karya duhe gela. All night passed like this. You remember when Ramananda Rai came? Ramananda Rai had seen Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Ramananda Rai. They saw each other and they went into ecstasy. Ramananda had come back to perform the ceremony. So, the rituals. And at that time, so many Brahmanas were there and priests were there, and he's a royal person, a government officer coming in his palanquin with procession and music and everything, and the Brahmanas chanting mantras. So many people were there. Mahaprabhu happened to be sitting there at that time. He just crossed the river Godavari. He was sitting on a rock and chanting, and there was this effulgence emanating from his sannyasi, beautiful sannyasi. So when Ramananda Rai, so first Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Ramananda Rai, and his heart was running towards him because he could recognize this is, who's Ramananda Rai? Vishakha Gopi. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Srimati Radharani or Krishna, either way. So he wanted to just go and embrace, but he just composed himself and he just sat there. And then Ramananda Rai, after he did all this, his glance fell on this sannyasi. It was like thousands of suns, light was emitting from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, such an attractive sannyasi. He just left everyone behind and he went and he fell down in Shashtang Pranam, Dandavat Pranam in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up and no, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't. He wanted to go and embrace, but he didn't. And then he said, I think he asked him, or before he asked him, Ramananda Rai introduced himself. Or Mahaprabhu asked him, I think, what's your name? So Ramananda Rai introduced himself. My name is Ramananda Rai. At that time, Mahaprabhu picked him up and embraced him. And then the love, the eternal love between both of them just awakened, right? And they were just holding each other. They were weeping. They fell down and rolling, and they were crying. And then soon, very soon, Mahaprabhu realized all these people that were there who came with Ramananda Rai, they are wondering what's going on. A sannyasi, why is he weeping like this? So like a sentimental person. And he's holding a, so Ramananda Rai was from a Kayastha community, like a Shudra community. Why is he holding him and why is he weeping like this? And then Ramananda Rai is is a great government officer, a very, highly respectable person. Why is he weeping like this? Right? What's going on? So they were all confused. So again, to set example, you see, so Mahaprabhu composed himself and both of them just sat down right there and they just had like a conversation. And then the Lord said, I would like to talk with you. Meanwhile, while they were having a conversation, the one Brahmana came and invited Mahaprabhu for lunch at his place. So Mahaprabhu said, all right, I'm going now. But after your lunch and afternoon nap and everything in the evening, I'll be waiting for you. We'll talk together. So Mahaprabhu went away. Ramananda Rai also went away. And then, very quickly finishing lunch and everything, then Mahaprabhu was waiting. He came, after finishing his noon, after taking prasad and everything, he came back. And then Ramananda Rai also came. This time he came alone. I think one servant was there, but he came alone. And then he took them, they went to a secluded place where nobody else was there. They sat down and their conversation started. Why I am telling you all this is to give you the time frame when this happened. So it happened in the evening, like late afternoon sometime they started conversation. And they started talking, so many discussions, right, went on. All night long they were talking. So from that time, practically all night long they were talking. See? Mate prema veshe, prema aveshe, right? Overwhelmed because of love, overflooding love or overwhelming love, right? Ratri goaila, all night passed in their talks like this, practically all night passed. Prata kale nija nija karye duhe gela. Now the next day they had, Ramananda Rai had to go to his, take care of his responsibilities, government responsibilities. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. So therefore, in the morning, they went their own ways. Mate premaveshe ratri goaila pratah kale nija nija karye duhe gela. The entire night was passed in this way, in ecstatic love of Godhead. In the morning, they both departed to tend to their respective duties. I'll just read, because today is Friday. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, no Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vidaya samaye prabhura charana dhariya Ramananda Raya kohe vinati koriya. So now at the time of separation, departure, both were going to get separated. At that time, Ramananda Rai vinati koriya, he pleaded, he made a humble request. Before departing from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Rai fell to the ground and caught hold of the Lord's lotus feet. He then spoke submissively as follows. Prabhura charane dhoriya. He fell down and he was holding on to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. And Ramananda Rai kohe vinati koriya. Very, very submissively, he made a prayer, a request. More kripa korite tomara iha agamana dina dasha rahi shodha mora dushta mana. More kripa korite tomara iha agamana. Your coming to this place is simply to show mercy on me. Dina dasha rahi, stay for about 10 more days. Shodha mora dushta mana, right? So this much time is not sufficient because I'm so contaminated, my mind is so polluted. This much association with you is not sufficient. You have come here to show mercy on me, but this much time and this much mercy is not sufficient because I'm so polluted. Stay for some more days, like 10 days or something. That much time will be sufficient. By that time, my mind, my contaminated, polluted, wicked mind will be purified, like that. Sri Ramananda Rai said, you have come here just to show me your causeless mercy. Therefore, stay here for at least 10 days and purify my polluted mind. 1 second. Let me see. If there is too many verses, then we can keep it for Monday. Oh, yes. We can't cover. I'll stop here today. It's already time. So we can continue on Monday, the remaining.
Can I ask a
Thank you so
question,
much.
Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So even we also hear that Lord Shiva wanted to be part of the Rasa Leela. He was not allowed, right? So what is the bhav of Lord Shiva?
Lord Shiva was allowed, no? Lord Shiva actually became he became a gopi. He
became
actually he became the in the form of a gopi. He became the guard of that Ras Leela, right? He was guarding Gopeshwar Mahadev. So he actually took the form of a gopi.
Nice. So he is what? So we also hear that he is one of the topmost Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhu, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
so he. We also at one side we say that we Prahlad Maharaj, you speak in the morning, right? Like
Yeah.
he is like
Dasya.
Dasya and Brahma, Lakshmi, and others were not given that mercy of placing the hand of Lord Nrsimhadev. So
Yeah.
what bhav Lord Shiva have when he consider that aspect of the devotional
Acha,
mode?
with Lord Krishna, what is the bhav of Lord Shiva towards Krishna? Lord Shiva, I mean, we know this pastime where he had this desire and he became Gopishwar Mahadev. So as Gopishwar Mahadev, obviously that is in conjugal rasa only there, where he actually became a gopi. But Lord Shiva is also, he has different roles. He's also Ishvara, controller. So in that sense, he's also, like Purusha role he plays in the spiritual world. So you have Sadashiva. Sadashiva means he's like Lord Narayan, like that. So that he plays that role. And of course, so you're asking as a devotee, what is his role? I'm not sure, Prabhuji. Other than this pastime, I'm not sure. He has a role to play as so everyone else is seeing the Lord as a servant, like Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabhabhritya. That means even Lord Narayan, in relation to Krishna, even Lord Narayan is a servant. So everyone, that relationship of a servant is common in all rasas. Dasya relationship will be there, whether it is conjugal, vatsalya, sakhya, all will have the element of dasya in it. So that is common, universal. Everyone will have dasya relationship. Now, in addition to that, now does Lord Shiva have a sakhya relationship? Does he have a vatsalya relationship? I don't know. But he has this conjugal relationship when he participated in that Ras Leela as Gopishwar Mahadev, where he became a gopi that one time. That I know, I heard. But about other relationships, I'm not aware.
So can a devotee have two different rasas at the same time, other than Dasya?
No, normally not.
Normally
Once
not.
you have, because the body that you get depends on the association that so the particular devotee that you're following. So you are following in a particular relationship and you get a body according to that. So in general, no, the devotee will be only in one rasa, only in one relationship.
And that relationship is already there, right? We just have to uncover that relationship. That's what my understanding is.
Not like that. The thing is, I will have to show you maybe in the diagram. 1 second. If you have time,
Yeah,
is it
sure.
okay?
Yeah.
The thing is, Jivatma, spirit soul, is Tatastha Shakti. Okay. So Jivatma is Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha Shakti. And Jivatma has its qualities. Just this Tatastha Shakti, Jivatma has its inherent qualities. What are the inherent qualities of Jivatma? It has Jnatritvam, Kartritvam, Bhoktritvam, Bhoktritvam. This is one quality. It is Anu Parimana. That means it is the smallest possible size. Anu means atomic. So smallest, like if you have something, one thing, you cut it into half. Then you cut this into half. Then you cut this into half. You cut this into half. Like this, you come to such a size where it is not possible to cut it into two halves. The smallest possible size. That is called Anuparimana. Atomic size. That is the size of Atma. There is nothing smaller than Atma. Now, because this is Anuparimana, naturally, what is the form of Anuparimana? If I gave you a point, what will you say is the shape of this point? It is uniform. Uniform means from any angle you see, it will look of this, it will appear to be of the same form. You don't say it is formless. Formless is different. Where there is no form, that is different. But uniform means from any angle you see, not even like that, it's just like that much, right? You see from any angle, it will have the same form. So what is the form of this Jivatma? Eka Rupa Svarupa Bhak. What else are the natural characteristics of Jivatma? Okay, the reference for this is Paramatma Sandarbha by Srila Jiva Goswami, in which Jamatra Muni. So in Paramatma Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami is quoting Jamatra Muni's statement about the characteristics of Jivatma as given in Padma Purana. So you find Jamatra Muni's statement in Padma Purana, and that is being quoted by Srila Jiva Goswami in Paramatma Sandarbha to tell us about the qualities of this Jivatma. Okay? So this Jivatma its form is uniform. So when you say uniform, that means you cannot see it has hands, legs, head. No, you cannot see any of this. It doesn't, it's just uniform. This is the characteristic of Jivatma. Eka Rupa Swarupa Bhak, Anuparimana, and it has Jnatritvam, means capacity to know. It has knowledge. What is the knowledge that the Jivatma has? I am soul. That's all. Not that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am an eternal servant of Krishna. This knowledge he doesn't have. Jivatma doesn't have. Because it is small, minute. So the knowledge it has is also very, very small. What is the knowledge that this Jivatma has? I am soul. That much. Kartritva means it has the capacity to do things. Bhoktritva means it has the capacity to enjoy. Why? Because it is Chit Kana. Chit. Chit means conscious. Kana means small particle. So Chit Kana means it is a conscious particle. So because it is conscious, conscious means it has this ability to know, ability to do, ability to enjoy. Now, if you have a jada, like a dull matter, a particle, right? Like a stone or something, would this stone have Jnatritvam, Kartritvam, Bhoktritvam? No, it won't have jnatritvam, kartritvam, bhoktritvam. Because it is not chit, it is not conscious. But Jivatma is a chit, conscious being. Therefore, it has the ability to know, ability to do, ability to enjoy, and it also has ego. Aham. Again, what is that aham? I am soul. And also individuality. When you say ego, ego means it has its own, I am different from others, right? That is also there in this Jivatma. These are all the characteristics of Jivatma. Now, for this Jivatma is of two types. There's two. There is liberated and there is conditioned. Liberated and conditioned Jivatmas. You have two types. Huh? Where do you find liberated Jivatmas? In the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, what all do you find? Many Vaikunthas are there. What else? The topmost is Goloka. And many billions of Vaikunthas. And also, there is Brahmajyoti. What is Brahmajyoti? Brahmajyoti is the effulgence which is emanating from the Lord, actually, personality of Godhead. He's there. Here Krishna is there. And here Krishna's expansions, Lord Narayan, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Vamana, Lord Ramchandra, Narasimha, like that. Many billions and billions of Vaikunthas are there. So from the Lord, the effulgence that is coming out, that is Brahmajyoti. And in this Brahmajyoti also there are eternally liberated souls, those who merge into Brahman. So there are all these liberated Jivatmas are where? Where do you find liberated Jivatmas? Either in Goloka, Vaikuntha, or in the Brahmajyoti. And then there is this river called Viraja. Viraja river separates the spiritual world from the material world. And on this side of the Viraja river, you have the Purusha. Who is the Purusha? Karanodakashaya Vishnu. And from Karanodakashaya Vishnu, from time to time, he glances on Prakriti and there's creation and so many material universes come into creation. And again, all these material, after 100 years of Brahmaji, they go back into Karanodakashaya Vishnu. So this is going on. So the living entities that are inside Karanodakashaya Vishnu, they are these conditioned souls. The living entities who are in Karanodakashaya Vishnu, they are the conditioned souls, Jivatmas. What is the difference? These conditioned souls lack, there is absence of Paratattva-jnānam. Paratattva-jnānam, absence of Paratattva. Anadi Paratattva-jnāna samsarga abhava. Abhava means absence. Since when? Anadi. Anadi means since beginningless. So you cannot say, when you say anadi, and also the definition of anadi is na vidyate adikaranam yasya saha. Na vidyate adikaranam. That means there is no beginning cause. So you cannot say when and how the living entities came into the body of Karanodakashaya Vishnu. There is no beginning cause. Like on this particular day, right? Adikaranam. On this particular day, because of this reason, they fell down. No. This is Shastra. So the conditioned soul's position is, since beginningless, they are in the conditioned state. What is that conditioned state? Anadi Paratattva-jnāna samsarga abhava. Absence of Paratattva-jnānam. This is their condition. Because of this absence of Paratattva-jnānam, this living entity is now captured by Maya. Maya captures. Why Maya is able to capture? Because he doesn't have this Paratattva-jnānam. Paratattvam means who? Krishna. Absolute truth. That is Paratattvam. Because this living entity does not have Paratattva-jnānam, Maya has captured. So when Maya captures, how Maya captures? In the form of avidya. And then when there is creation, Lord Brahmaji gives up after avidya, subtle body. There is chittam, intelligence, false ego, intelligence, mind, senses, body, like this. So many coverings are given on top of avidya. First avidya and then ahankara. So first is avidya. From Maya he gets avidya. Next is ahankara. What is the effect of avidya? Because of avidya, he forgets that kartritvam, gyatritvam, bhoktritvam. Gyatritvam is there, right? What is that? I am soul. He forgets that he is soul. And ahankara gives false identity. I am this body. This is the position of the conditioned soul. So, the point is, this, so he gets a subtle body and gross body here. What is this made up of? External energy. My subtle and gross body is made of what? External energy, Bahiranga Shakti. Unless I get this Bahiranga Shakti, I mean the body, not external energy, unless I get a body, this Jivatma, which is so small and minute, right? That's why I gave you the qualities, the characteristics of Jivatma. These are the characteristics. For the Jivatma to actually, this conditioned Jivatma also has karma, remember. It has karma. You may say where karma came from. Because this is a cycle. You see, Karanodakshaya Vishnu, this is the Lord. Karanodakshaya Vishnu, he is glancing on Prakriti. Then elements came, 23 elements. Then universes are formed. Universe lasts for 100 years of Brahmaji. Yes? After 100 years of Brahmaji, what happens? Reverse creation. That means annihilation. This everything becomes 23 elements. 23 elements go back into Prakriti. Prakriti goes back into Karanodakshaya Vishnu. When the Lord is glancing, he's sending all these jivas into Prakriti who were in his body. So now all the jivas here, after losing their gross subtle bodies, they go back into Karanodakshaya bodies, Karanodakshaya Vishnu's body. They stay there. Until when? Until he glances again the next time. And again the whole cycle goes and again they come back into him. And the next time when he glances, again there's another creation. So this has been going on since when? Anadi. Is there a date? The first day when Karanodakshaya Vishnu glanced on Prakriti, the very first time. Is there anything like that about the Lord's pastimes? No, Nitya Lila. Eternally they have been happening. So every time this Jivatma, he comes into this universe and gets bodies, what is the Jivatma accumulating? Karma. It's accumulating karma. So Jivatma is with karma. This Jivatma is with karma. And then he goes back. So next time when he comes, based on that karma only, Brahmaji is giving him body. Subtle body, gross body, you'll go to heaven, you'll go to earth, you'll become a dog, cat, etc. Based on karma, Lord Brahma is giving him bodies. So the point is, for this Jivatma, conditioned Jivatma who has karma, for him to enjoy or suffer the results of his work, he needs a body. This Jivatma needs a body. He needs a body. So, of course, Jivatma is not here in the head. It is in the heart region here, right? So, this Jivatma needs a body. The difference is when it is in the conditioned state, the body is made of external energy. But when you do bhakti, the same Jivatma gets a body, parshada deha, in a bhava stage. When you come to bhava, the same Jivatma is now getting a body which is made of internal energy, swarupa shakti. But body it needs. So when you say the Jivatma's body is already there, the spiritual body is already there, no doubt. I don't know if you're able to grasp. Is it going above your head or you're following?
No, I'm following.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the spiritual, because in the spiritual world, you see, nothing can be created and destroyed. It is eternal. So the bodies are already there. In the spiritual world, bodies are already there. Eternal bodies are there. According to my sadhana, and then I come to bhava, and then I come to prema. So in bhava, I get a relationship with the Lord. How do I get this relationship? It depends on the sadhu, my guru, the association that I'm getting. Based on that association, I get a certain relationship. By sadhana that I'm following in the association of devotees, based on that guru's relationship, I get a relationship. So it is decided here. My association with sadhus decides what relationship I will get with Krishna in the spiritual world. And then when that is decided, that's why when we were seeing in the previous discussion, in ruchi and asakti stages, you're already following one particular devotee in the spiritual world. That means your relationship is formed there. Nevertheless, your body was not given yet. But your relationship, the direction in which you are going, what is your relationship, that is decided at that time. Now, when you come to bhava stage, an appropriate body is awarded to you. A body which fits your mood, your relationship. So if you're following the footsteps of a gopi, then the body of a gopi is given to you. But you cannot say, like in the material world, the body's, like a new body is created and then it's coming. Nothing is created. It's eternally existing. Actually, even in the material world, if you see, the elements are all already there and then they're just brought together and destroyed. The only difference is in the spiritual world, there is no creation and there is no destruction. They're eternally existing. Eternally existing. The bodies are eternally existing. Now you may say how the bodies are. See, okay, one more step I'll say. So how to understand this is when you go to a showroom, right? And there are so many shirts, right? Small, large, medium, different sizes. You go to the showroom, the shirt that best fits you is given to you. Like that, the bodies are already there in the spiritual world. The one that best fits you is given to you. And that's how this Jivatma gets a body which is made of Swarupa Shakti. One final point which I want to tell you here is these details, what happens after you go into the spiritual world, are not explained in the Shastra, because now my faculties are my current faculties. What are my current faculties? I have my mind, I have my intelligence, my body, my senses. These are all made of external energy. Whereas the topics of the spiritual world, they're all internal energy, Swarupa Shakti. With this material energy, my mind, which is made of material energy, this cannot comprehend things which are beyond time and space, because material creation begins with time and space. Space means sky or ether, right? Panchabhutas, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Ether is space. So at certain point of creation, after the Lord glanced, then these were manifested. Time starts when the Lord glances, he's sending time. Kala Shakti starts there. Before that, what is the situation? It's not according to the time that we know and the space that we know. But my mind, which came after this time and space, can only picture things within time and space. It cannot comprehend things which are beyond time and space. So therefore, it is not possible for me with this current mind to completely understand how things are functioning in the spiritual world. But just to somehow or other satisfy my, inquisitiveness, Shastra gives some hints, sometimes with some material examples. The whole idea is to get you to start bhajan, devotional service. Because only by devotional service, spiritual topics can be revealed to us. But by intellect, if we try to understand, my intellect, my mind is also, after all, material. It's not possible. We won't be able to understand. But sometimes, not sometimes, many times, because we are coming from the material background, logical mind, right? Unless you give a logical answer, I won't be willing to start devotional service. Somehow or other, to make us to begin devotional service, some little bit of logical examples and explanation is given. But to think that logically I will understand completely how the whole thing is working in the spiritual world, it's not going to happen. Okay?
That's a I have a lot of questions. Thank you for the explanation. But a reflection that comes to my mind right now before question is, I don't want to ask question because it's going to prolong a lot of time.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes.
but reflection is, you also mentioned about faith, right? Sometime last year, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, you were talking like sometimes we will have doubts, like if fact will be presented, but we'll still, oh, how can it this be, right? So I'm relating to that to this just you just said while ago before while ending, the examples are given just so we can understand, um
Begin.
begin to understand.
Begin to do devotional service.
Yes, begin to do devotional
To
service.
pacify that inquisitiveness and curiosity to some extent, so that when you're pacified to some extent, now okay, yeah, with this much I can start, okay, this much I can accept little bit, now I will start devotional service for that.
Yeah, and there is also this side of it, like when there are our faith is shaken, right? Because our logical mind don't accept the way it is presented.
Ah,
For me, my personal struggle has been a little bit is like when the numbers, like Krishna had 64 crores of cows, and in Srimad Bhagavatam especially is given like so many huge numbers, but uh, to a logical mind it does not make sense. But I accept it because Krishna is unlimited. Krishna can do anything. And so,
right.
based on that fact, I just okay. But if I use my logical brain, I just cannot accept, because
Yeah.
I appreciating the point that you made, how it is beyond time and space, the spiritual world, and our mind cannot comprehend that. And sometimes Krishna act in such ways, even in not just in spiritual, when he comes here, our ability to comprehend those, even Brahma couldn't understand, because he,
Exactly.
he was like, oh, how can it be, he can be a coward boy, just like the other day was saying, right?
Yes.
So but we just have to have that dṛṣṭānta, right? The strong faith to begin that process.
So, yeah, Dhrida Shraddha, when all the doubts are removed, then you get Dhrida Shraddha. Dhrida Shraddha means now surrender. So to come to that point, we have to get all these doubts relieved. Yeah.
Thank you Mataji.
Mataji,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, just one question. Like, when Srila Prabhupada in his lecture was telling that when you get the spiritual body, you go back to Golok Vrindavan, you can become whatever you want to. Today you can be this, tomorrow you can be that. So how does that fit here? Because what you are saying is that no, that spiritual body is already there according to our bhava or our prema, then we get that, right? So then that what is that like? I don't, that is what little bit confusion I'm having.
Mataji, in the spiritual world already so many bodies are there. Not just gopis bodies, cows bodies are there.
Right, yeah.
So whichever one you want, you can go. But whichever one you want, at what stage you mean?
No, my question is, like Prabhupada said, like once you are in Golok Vrindavan, then you can, whatever you want, you can become. Like, like that Prabhu was asking, that can one be in, like one devotee can have two something, he said, right? Means like, let's say today I want to become a gopi, tomorrow I want to become a cow, day after tomorrow. And he gave that kind of example. He told that today you can be a cow, tomorrow a gopi, then a flower or flute. So what is that then? That part I don't. I was thinking, yes, we
I
can
also
change.
don't know. I mean, it is said that, I mean, if you think
Hmm.
you have, see, you have a bhava for Krishna.
Hmm.
why will you want to keep changing here and there? Even now, you think about it. If you're a software engineer, then that's what you will be doing, right? Will you think that today I'll be software engineer, tomorrow teacher, and day after tomorrow this and this and that? It doesn't happen like that, right? That is why in general it is said, in general, no. You get one rasa, and because you get that mood and you're serving Krishna in that. See, also, it's not that, oh, because conjugal rasa is the top, is the best, topmost, therefore I should also get that. No. Somebody who has this attraction for dasya bhava, for him that is the best, that is the topmost. Even if he hears that conjugal rasa is the highest, for him, for me, this is the best. He's completely satisfied in that. So when someone is completely satisfied and happy, why will he think? If you want, you can be. That's why when you hear a
in
statement,
general, okay.
you have to you have to understand in what context Srila Prabhupada said that. He may have said that here you have this and this, you're running after so many things. In spiritual world, you can do whatever you like that. It could have been, I don't know. So you have to see in what context it was said.
Just she was giving a class, like, just regular, like, I forgot. I actually saved it. I can find it and talk to you more about that. But I heard that is what he was telling, because why I remember that, you remember when not Vatsala Mataji, our Surya Mataji's mom, Vrindavali Mataji. She was telling she wants to be a flower in Krishna's fleet all the time. That's what she always contemplate on. And then this class I heard. And then after that, another Prabhu was giving a class, and he said, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has condemned, like, you cannot think about Santa Rasa. Then when you become a flower, Srila Prabhupada said that you can be a flower, but you will be not doing any service, because you are just lying down there, right, as a flower. So that you are not doing any kind of service there. So it becomes like a Santa Rasa, where he said, oh, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati said we should not be even thinking that. So, and then I remembered about Mataji, that she always wants to be a flower. And then when I heard Srila Prabhupada saying, you can be a flower, you can be a flute, you can be a gopi, you can be a cow, I'm like, oh wow, that's so nice. So
I don't know Mataji.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, which class I'll find out and I'll let you know. But I don't remember before and after what he said. But yeah, this is what I heard. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for staying so long. We'll end here. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhyo pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Hare Krishna.